Hello everyone, very good evening and welcome to StudyIQ IAS English. I hope that everybody is doing absolutely great. And guys, before proceeding further, first of all, I should wish you all a very happy Raksha Bandhan in advance because basically this occasion is at the event. Right. Welcome to StudyIQ IAS English. I hope that everybody is doing absolutely great. And guys, before proceeding further, first of all, I should wish you. Now, I think the voice was getting echoed, right? So I hope now it's everything fine. So first of all, let me tell you about a very important thing, that on this occasion of the great festival of the love and trust with each other, StudyIQ is also trying to prove that we are not only connected with you on the terms of the educationist and the students, but also we are investing in the emotional connect with all of you, and therefore we have brought this great opportunity for everyone who is looking for the further affordability of their education. And on this occasion of Raksha Bandhan, you can use my code ASR Live to get the best possible price for this prelims to interview program, which will be having all the features, all the facilities that is necessary for any candidate to clear the examination. Now moving to the topic directly, as you might be aware that today we are going to do the second part of our Mauryan art, in which we will be covering up the popular arts in the Maurya age. So before proceeding, first of all, good evening and welcome back once again to all of you. Guys, do not forget to share this class with your friends as well as your colleagues or any other person who you know and who is preparing for the civil service examination in English medium. Now, first of all, when we understand the art and cultural pattern of Mauryan period, in the yesterday's lecture only we had already seen that particularly in that period, the stone polishing, sculptures and the construction of the pillars as well as the rock edicts, etc., they were the prominent form of the expression of arts. However, we also saw that the emergence of the urban civilization in that phase led to the expansion and growth of prosperity, leading to the evolution of the popular art as well. Now, when we say popular art, what is the meaning of this term, popular art? It means that this type of art which is constructed or created or prepared by the common people, who might be the merchants, who might be the traders, might be the agriculturists, might be the soldiers, monks, anybody among the common masses, anybody who is not the king or not the governor or the emperor of the empire. So in the Mauryan period, primarily when we talk about the popular architecture, that can be categorized into the popular cave architecture, popular sculpture architecture and the popular architecture related to the folk arts. Now when we talk about the first of this, that is the cave architecture. Many of you might be wondering that how is the cave architecture categorized under the popular category when we all are aware that these caves were constructed by none other than the Mauryan emperors. It is because the purpose for which they were constructed, that purpose was used to serve the monks of the Ajivika sect. And who was the emperor who constructed the caves for serving the Ajivika sect? Because we should be aware that Bindusar, the father of Ashoka, he used to follow the religion of Ajivika. However, he did not construct that cave. Then who was behind it? It was none other than Ashoka the Great, who had constructed the caves at Barabar, and then came Dasharath, who constructed the caves at Nagarjuni. Now dear students, these two places in the modern Bihar, these two places, they have the group of caves. Total number of the caves that is 7 in number, also known as the Saptaparni Gufa, or basically known as the 7 caves together. So here let me tell you that when we talk about these caves, these were originally constructed for the Ajivikas, that is absolutely clear because of the inscriptions present in those caves, but later on these caves were used by the Buddhist monk, that's also very clear. And not only the Buddhists, even later you will observe that these caves might be having certain artifacts or sculptural arts related to the Brahmanical culture. Okay everyone, so let us understand these things in detail. So when we talk about the cave architecture, you can understand the meaning of the cave architecture, where the caves were constructed by cutting the huge rocks into the hollow structures, where the various Shramanas related to the Ajivika sect, they could do some rest. The features of these caves basically, so during the Mauryan period, these caves were highly polished with the great finish of the interior wall, as well as the decorative gateways were also there. Okay everyone, 7 caves called as Satgarva or Satparni. Even though some people might be contradicting on this point that sir, Satparni is in Rajgir, don't worry, right? Satparni cave is in Rajgir, of course that's correct. These 7 caves together, they are called as Satparni or Satgarva. Okay, so this basically is located in the Makhdumpur region of Jahanabad district in Bihar at present, and these caves were constructed by Ashoka the Great and his grandson Dasarath. Now when we talk about the total number of caves, there are how many total caves? There are 7 caves in total. And which are those 7 caves? Remember the name, Barabar has got 4 caves. These 4 caves were constructed by Ashoka, and these were named as Karna Chopper, Sudama cave, Lomash Rishi cave and Vishwamitra cave. 4 caves were there. Whereas at Nagarjuni, which was constructed by the Dasaratha, these 3 caves included the caves named as Gopika or Gopi, then Bahayak and Vedantika. So these names are also taken as following: Gopika, Vapi and Vaditi. Vedantika is basically Vaditi and Bahayak is basically Vapi. So that is also the alternative name which is used for these 3 caves at Nagarjuna. Overall, these caves, they have got the 6 different inscriptions, as you can see here. At Barabar, the 3 caves, Karna Chopper, Sudama and Vishwamitra cave, also known as the Vishwajhopadi, these 3 have the inscriptions. Whereas when we talk about the Nagarjuni caves, Gopika, Vapi and Vaditi, these 3 caves have the inscriptions. Guys, total there are 6 inscriptions, and which is the cave that does not have the inscription related to either Ashoka or Dasharatha? That cave is basically the Lomas Rishi cave. You can see here there is the complete absence of the Lomas Rishi cave. So that particular cave does not have any inscription. Okay, no inscription. Or it is possible, it is quite possible that there might be an inscription, or those inscriptions might be or might have been erased, or due to any reason, particularly wearing and tearing or anything else, those inscriptions might have been erased. It is also a possibility, right everyone? But when we talk about the appearance, then probably the most well preserved gate that we can see at the Lomas Rishi cave. So here you can see the Lomas Rishi cave. This particular cave has got very intricate carving of the elephants arranged on standing in the line facing towards the center. So these elephants are facing towards the center and these elephants are facing towards their center. Not only that, you can also see that basically there are the different planes, right? These are called as the coplanar and periplanar, right? Periplanar constructions, where on the outermost plane of the rock we don't have any construction, but when we have grooved in, then we have got a construction which indicates the complete lining similar to the arch, However, this is not having any constructive arch, it is having only a deductive arch, which means when you cut the rock in such a manner that gives you the shape of an arch, then you call it as the deductive arch. Then here under this plane, you further have to engrove inside, and on the inner side plane you have got this beautiful work of the synchronized screens, where these screens are basically the example of the extensive stone work which was available and which was readily in fact done in that period. Many historians also suggest that this entire beautification of the gate of Lomas Rishi cave is a work which was done much later than the construction of this cave. On my other side, you can see the outer wall of the caves, where you can completely identify the Shiv and Parvati sitting on the throne. You can also see the Shivalingas which are constructed on the outer wall surface, and at the same time you can also see the images of a Nandi and images of a lion sitting on side by side facing towards each other. Okay, so not only that, when you will go further on the other side round, you will observe the images of Ganesha and other deities as well as, right? So that indicates that probably during the subsequent periods, the further artisans or further rulers and the landlords in that area, they might have tried to construct the new sculptures on the outer surface of this entire cave. However, when we move further, then we realize that the cave architecture, that was not the only type of architecture among the popular character arts. The popular character arts also included the sculpture arts by the common people, by the folks. And since the folks were constructing those sculptures were basically dedicated to the deities of common people. In Mauryan period, let me tell you, the worship of the demigods or the god of the common folks, called as a Yaksha and Yakshini, the worship of these was quite evident, quite common in that era. These were, I can tell you, considered as the semi-god and semi-demon. Basically, they had the mixed attributes of the Rakshasas and the Devas. They could provide the boon and they could also destroy the enemies in the battle. Therefore, you will observe that in various cultural zones of ancient India, not only in the Ashokan period of Magad, but also in the contemporary period of Deccan, in fact the subsequent periods, even today also, in Karnataka we observe the Yakshagan, isn't it? Similarly, we try to emulate the actions of the Yakshas in various dances related to the folk or classical culture. So, which clearly proves that in India, the worship of the guarding deities, these were the guard deities. What is the meaning of the guard deities, by the way? Guard deities, guard deities, that means that they were basically invoked to protect the wealth, protect the prosperity of a village, of a safe, of a house, of a temple, of any institution, anything. Even in modern India also, you might not be aware that at the gates of the Reserve Bank of India, we have the images of two yakshas, right, two yaksha sculptures which are standing there. Even today also we have that image. Okay, all right everyone. So here in the Pataliputra or in the Magad Empire, we have several evidences which prove that Yaksh worship was quite common. For example, you can see the nude male figure, right, the nude male figure's torso. Torso means the upper body part, okay, the upper body part, the chest, the belly region and the genitals. So basically that torso and the abdomen, the torso and the abdomen, that is basically represented in a sculpture which is of course damaged. It does not have the complete body parts. It only shows the torso region of the male, found at Lohanipur near Patna. And the another statue depicting the complete body of the Yakshini, that is found at a place called Didarganj near Patna. Now when we look at the pictures of Yaksh and Yakshini, right everyone, so this is basically the Lohanipur torso, okay, Lohanipur torso. This is the Didarganj Yakshi and this is the Didarganj Yakshi kept in a museum. Now when we observe the specific features of this, right, of this art, we can say very clearly that this particular art, it indicated the highly lustrous, right, highly lustrous shine on the sculpture. It shined like, right, it just shined like a metal, like a metal. Not only that, even if you observe the proportionate, right, proportional qualities of the body, then also you can observe it very clearly that this particular sculpture, it was extremely well proportioned. Not only that, you can observe the various jewelries which were worn by the Yakshini, whereas relatively the male torso is devoid of any jewelry. It just had the well proportioned shape of the body. When you observe the other features, you can see that she is wearing a very thick, right, a very thick ornament in the ankle, probably a very thick anklet. Along with that, she is also wearing the waist belt of the silver probably, and wearing a loin cloth. This is called as the loin cloth. Okay, so silver waistband is there, and the lots of the bangles are there in the hands of this Yakshi. One hand is right, it is probably damaged, and this looks like a whisker, This is called as a chaur, or sometimes also known as chavar. Okay, chavar. So this whiskers of the whisker of the feathers is called as a chavar or chaur, and this particularly face, if you see this carefully, the face here has got probably a forehead band indicating some sort of specific ornament worn by the lady, and she also wears the other ornaments, looks like a crown on her head, which was probably the symbol of prosperity and authority. If you look at the other jewelries worn by her, you can see a huge lock here with the decoration of flower or something, and here also in the ear you can see the lot of heavy jewelries. So this indicates that probably the deities were represented wearing a lot of jewelries, showing the prosperity of the folks, or not the folks, but the prosperity of the deities and the aspiring folks for the prosperity to be obtained from this particular deity. Right everyone? Here if you observe at one thing, on the representation of the physicality, you can observe very clearly that these statues, unlike the Greek arts or the Greek sculptures, these statues in India are relatively voluptuous and they look much healthier and much well proportionate, probably as good as the Greek sculptures. However, I would not say that this is inspired anywhere from the Greeks. Why? Because when we look at the male torso here, it looks like the person has got a protruding belly, right? A protruding belly and non-segregated muscular divisions. Whereas if you look at any particular random Greek sculpture, you will have that the person is having the great muscles, person is having the great well sculpted body, flat stomach is there, bulging chest is there, and therefore this cannot be compared to the torso of Lohanipur, which is found near Patna during the Mauryan period. Alright everyone. So apart from the sculpture art, which was probably the highlight of the entire Mauryan architecture, entire Mauryan arts, especially that shiny, glittering stone polishing which we had during that period. Probably that type of stone polishing is not possible even today. We need the comparatively better stones like granite to have that type of polishing, but let me tell you that these were not granites, my dear. These were the sandstones which were polished to such a level which was reflecting the light. Not only on the sculptures, even the potteries during the Mauryan period were equally great. If you look at the potteries, let me tell you, the potteries during the Mauryan period, they were called as the northern black polished wares. What were they known as? Northern black polished wares. Why were they called so? Because they are mostly found in the northern India, but black and polished. Look at this. Whenever you see this type of image in a photograph, make it sure that this is a reflecting surface on the outer side of the pottery, which indicates that probably they used some sort of varnish or some sort of metallic finish or some sort of metal oxide. We are not sure about their technology. Which type of technology did they use? Or were they making ceramics which looked like the earthen potteries? Absolutely not. These were the earthen potteries, but such a shiny earthen pottery, that's not very easy to construct even today. Okay, so this was indeed a very commendable achievement of the Mauryan period when they started making these northern black polished wares. And when we talk about these northern black polished ware, let me tell you that they probably used the black paint and that probably provided them the lustrous finish. However, when we observe the sculptures, probably their finish is even more lustrous. From where have we obtained these northern black polished wares? So we have obtained mainly from the settlements of the Kaushambi. Kaushambi is in near Prayagraj, you might be aware of that. The original place from where the Ashokan pillar, which is currently located at the Allahabad fort, that was found. Okay. Apart from the Kaushambi, we also have the Patliputra region from where we have obtained the NBPW species. Here let me tell you one thing very clearly, that it is believed that probably Kaushambi was one of the most precious and most crucial cities, because it was the only city which demarcated the southern boundary of the prosperous alluvial plains of Ganga, because going beyond that we had to enter the Bundelkhand region of Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh, where relatively the soil fertility was not very great, hence the production of food grains or the economic resources or the population density, these were also not great. So guys, just by the information of this type of pottery, you can very well understand that which type of details we can come out with. Alright everyone. So I hope that this brief, quick and reminiscent session that must be very much clear to everyone. As far as the art and culture during the Mauryan period is concerned, we have covered basic art and architecture during the Mauryan period. In the next lecture, we will talk about the post-Mauryas and Gupta period. Till then, stay with us. Let's meet again tomorrow on 4 p.m. But before leaving, let me tell you once again about our great Raksha Bandhan sale, where basically we are offering the grand opportunity to all the sisters and the brothers basically to get registered if they are having the desire to crack the Civil Services Examination 2024. Then they can enroll with us in our P2I batches, which are starting from 31st of August. And these batches are available in the choice of your language, English, Hindi, as per your preference. They have all the required amenities which any candidate would love to have in order to crack the examination, like syllabus coverage, current affairs programs, practice questions. Not only that, you also have the handwritten notes, you also get the books, you also get the one-to-one guidance. What else is required? Probably one thing that is required, that is called affordability. That means despite having so many feature-rich specialities, why is this program so affordable? Because if you are using this particular code ASR live, let me tell you, today and tomorrow, you have got this wonderful opportunity to have this greatly discounted price of 27,999. Okay everyone, so do not miss this opportunity. And in case if you want the content of this class, you can simply download the content from my Telegram channel. If you are not joined yet, you can join with this help of this link, or you can simply scan this QR code. Thank you so much for watching it guys, and take care. Bye bye. Let's meet tomorrow at 4 p.m. Jai Hind.